You know, I've studied blues since I was a child, since I was 12 years old, growing up in Austin, Texas. And, you know, they're just some guys that you need to know. And I had a guy in particular, Clifford Antone, who would tell me about, you know, kind of these unsung heroes, you know, like Big Boy and, you know, Jimmy Reed and, you know, some of the guys that people don't really understand that a lot of rock and roll bands kind of got their start by covering these, you know, songs, you know. So I really felt like it was something that I was meant to do. A lot of the stories that happen to, you know, unfortunately to black artists in those times. And, you know, they would put out a hit or two and, you know, get a little bit of notoriety, but wouldn't really get paid or be credited. And I think for some light to be shown on him, you know, in this day and age, and it's just important for his imprint and what he did, and what he pioneered to not be lost, you know, because people think, oh, I came up with this, or I invented this, or I started this, created this thing. It's like this whole rock and roll thing, this whole rock star, you know, all that wouldn't have been possible if some of these guys weren't handpicked from, you know, the Delta, you know, down in Mississippi and, you know, down in the South of the United States. So just a little bit of light, you know, as much as we can give these guys, I think is important. So I'm all here for that. I think taking risks, I mean, even, you know, wiggling on TV was risky at the time. And I think people really expressing themselves and that being captured and being spread all over the world, you know, on TV, and, you know, I think that made people feel connected in a way that they could let loose and be vulnerable and sing about things that were not necessarily supposed to be sung about or talked about, you know. A vulnerability, I think, that touched people, you know. I think his sincerity, his sense of humor, you know, all that resonates with people because sometimes we feel alone and like we're not connected. And for somebody to get up there and pour their soul out, you know, people talk about that, you know, people build friendships, people fall in love to that, you know, people create beautiful memories. If you do your research, if you read the credits, you know, the songwriters, you can go back and figure out where all this stuff came from. You know, you can hear it in the tempo, you can hear it in the swing. If you understand what American music is based on, you understand that black musicians in the South, from blues, folk, gospel music, created American rock and roll.